So what's it about? Why is the Israeli government trying to frame Germany as still Nazi till this day, when in fact today, Germany is like BFF with Israel, you know, they're like best buddies, super friends, and as Zionist as they get. You know, but still, Netanyahu is still trying to make Merkel out to be Hitler personified. What's this about? Now, the truth is that Netanyahu, he doesn't only slur Germans as eternal Nazis, he plays pretty fast and loose with that term, to be honest. A couple years ago he said, as the Nazis tried to create a master race while destroying the Jewish people, so is Iran. Now, you know, I've never been to Iran, I don't speak Farsi, I can't say that I'm well acquainted with what's going on there from up close, but I'm no fan of the Iranian regime, but they happen to have the largest population of Jews outside of Israel. In the Middle East, there's more Jews in Iran than any other country besides Israel. There's tens of thousands of Jews living there, and they have the right to leave the country at any time and move to Israel or anywhere else they want, and they don't take that option. So if they are in fact trying to destroy the Jewish people, they're doing a very poor job of it. No, it's not about that, and it's not only Iranians, it's also Palestinians, if you can imagine this. Last year, Netanyahu said Hitler didn't want to exterminate the Jews at the time, he wanted to expel the Jew. And Haj Amin al-Husseini, a Palestinian religious leader, went to Hitler and said, if you expel them, they'll all come here. So now Netanyahu, in his efforts to slag anyone he doesn't like, Palestinian people, as the new Nazis, he's willing to even exonerate Hitler. He's whitewashing Adolf Hitler himself, saying Hitler didn't come up with a plan for genocide, Hitler just wanted to deport the Jews. It's only once Palestinian people spoke to him and convinced him that he had to carry out the final solution. This is the extent. He's willing to be a Holocaust revisionist in his effort to smear his enemies as new Nazis. And, that's today. 20 years ago, he wasn't as bold about it. At that time, Netanyahu was the leader of the opposition. The prime minister of Israel at that time was Yitzhak Rabin. And, at that time, he didn't himself make the Nazi accusation. He just let his rank and file do so and didn't say anything to stop it. So, at that point, when, of course, lots of problems with it, but because of the Oslo peace process, there was an effort to at least move in a direction of perhaps Palestinian people achieving some sense of achieving at least some of their rights with all its imperfections. But at that time, it so aggravated the right wing in Israel that they started producing posters of Prime Minister Rabin in Nazi regalia. Now, I'm not putting that on Netanyahu himself, but the right wing held rallies in public squares, against the government, against Rabin, and at these massive rallies, Netanyahu would stand up on the balconies, and there were plenty of people, and he would give speeches to the people, assembled below, and there were people in the audience who were screaming "Death to Rabin," holding up photos of him in SS uniform, and other members of the government heard and were disgusted by it and left the stage and walked away because they didn't want to be associated, but not Netanyahu. Netanyahu stayed there and he riled up the crowd, even though they were, saying Rabin is a Nazi. And as we know what happened in the weeks and months to come, he was assassinated by a right-wing Israeli Jew.